Om Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibhiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadaatatam Bhuvi Grinanti Ye Bhurida Janaha Bhuvi Grinanti Ye Bhurida Janaha. Regarding meditation, how we turn inward, dive within in meditation. You must sit and practice. It takes years of practice to dive within. If you are really interested, if you are sincere to the heart that I must enter into meditation, I must enter into samadhi, I must experience God. If you have that intention, nature will help you. God will intuit you. There is a promise of Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. I give them such a intellect that they start moving towards me. So be really seeking from the heart of your hearts. Then you'll see that everything will be arranged by divine. And the revelations has to come. We can't attain God. We cannot attain self. The God has to reveal himself. Self has to manifest itself. We can't reach that with bodily existence and mind, all this, and the karmic load. Even if karmic load is not there, anything of the nature belonging, our mind, senses, intellect, whatever we have belongs to nature. With nature cannot understand. We have to transcend the nature and go. How can I transcend the nature and go? Because I am divine, independent of all the instruments I am using to be in this world. Bodily, from body to the intellect, all the layers belong to nature. Because, only because of my karmic load, nature has provided me a body to work out the inner forces that I have acquired. So there is, in my existence, there are three as parts together mixed up and interlocked: the divine, the nature, and my own karmic being. So the three constitute this bodily existence of mine, and I pass through waking, dreaming, and deep sleep every day. No, now I have to dive within and go. And for that, the nature will help you in such a way. She gives you a calm and pleasant mind that doesn't get involved in anything but serve and love. A heart that loves all equally, not focused on somewhere that is catching hold and something is catching you. No, it, the love flows towards all beings without any differentiation. This inner being is such a thing, it is divine. Because it is divine, I can transcend the nature and reach the divine. This is divine with small letter D, and that is divine with D capital. So I am, because the inner is something, I have to bridge these two. The inner, my real existence, because I cannot expand. The moment I try to expand from within, I, I have to enter into sleep. Every day I expand, but I don't know. I am ignorant. When I come out of sleep, I am again ignorant. Where I went and how I came out. There was bliss, there was joy, there was no pain, there was no duality. But I did not know what did I experience in deep sleep. I come out. Similarly, how to bridge my existence, it has to emerge out or expand, pervading everything, the whole universe and be beyond. Or I have to turn inward, dive layer by layer, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. So, in depths of our heart, we are trying to imagine. We can go in any path, Jnana Yoga. Suppose I am turning inward and diving within, trying to go towards my own self, core of my existence. Then I am passing through the Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya. When we enter into Vijnanamaya, I get the spiritual awakening and on. So I am imagining, beginning my meditation, to turn inward and dive within. I am trying to imagine my Ishtadevata in my heart. The inward journey, it is inward journey. Why I am utilizing inward journey is I am accustomed to go within and come out, inner journey. I am accustomed to dive within. The nature takes me to deep sleep and come out. It is making me cross over the cross physical body, the subtle body of mind and senses, and causal body, and then enter causal body where there is the all my identity and knowledge is deposited in seed form when I enter into deep sleep. All the three layers I am crossing every day. I am becoming independent of the entire nature when I sleep. But it is taken by nature in such a way I don't get the knowledge of the other side. If somehow if I get the knowledge of the other side, then I am saved. So I get the knowledge of my real existence. But nature takes me, closing my eyes, leaving everything. I can't know what am I, and I come back again. One by one, I pervade and come. I start becoming living again in this world. With world awareness, I come out. Leaving the world awareness, and I go within. I come out with it. Can I bridge somehow, somewhere, go somewhere and stay? So this inward journey, I imagine, it begins with the imagine of the Ishtadevata in the core of my existence, in the depth of my existence. I exist, I am there, the bodily layers are there, one after the other. So I want to transcend all and go to the depth. So while going within all these layers I am crossing, and there I am reaching the innermost core. So trying to imagine, we saw how a sculptor or a painter or a drawing person understand the clear picture of Ishtadevata. I imagine in the same way three-dimensional picture of each movement. I must be aware of the, suppose a man is sitting, he is looking around, how he will be looking around. If he is talking to me, how he will be talking to me. All these clear pictures, because we begin as Ishtadevata as a living person with all good and great qualities, Ananta Kalyana Guna Paripurna. We are thinking of a form of the Ishtadevata which is alive, just like this bodily existence. A person is this much of imagination, clear imagination, which turns out into slowly a visualization. I visualize each the nail, how it is every finger. Sri Ramakrishna is sitting like this. How even the small wrinkles on the fingers, I am able to clearly identify. This is visualization. From visualization, I enter into little deeper concentration. Mixed when visualization is mixed with reality and it becomes contemplation. I contemplate upon means I am bringing reality into it. Then I enter into meditation. In meditation, I transcend the idea, it is an imagination. And slowly it becomes reality. When meditation begins is when you cross the manomaya. Till then it goes on going to subtler and subtler levels of my imagination. And when I cross the mental barrier, the imagination becomes a realization. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya. These are the three layers. I am going deeper and deeper, clearer and clearer. Mind is becoming, the understanding, the viewing is becoming clearer and clearer. When we enter into Vijnanamaya Kosha, within Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, I am getting deeper and deeper. External world is slowly disappearing. The moment I go to Pranamaya, Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasagandha goes off. Pranamaya. When I cross Pranamaya, I am totally unaware of the world, external world. Then when I enter into Manomaya, thoughts are appearing, I become expanded. I don't have limit as if, because bodily awareness, body is not there. I have no limitations. I become so free, so light, not attached to the body. But I will not know the clear, I am seeing the image of Sri Ramakrishna in my heart, in the Manomaya Kosha. In Vijnanamaya Kosha, I am trying to get absorbed. In Manomaya Kosha, I get absorbed. I get absorbed. I am not aware of either the world or of the. This is the picture of Sri Ramakrishna has become lively and clear to me, as if I am sitting and experiencing him in the front. He is actually sitting before me, and I am there in front of him. So that much of clarity in Manomaya Kosha. And when I enter to the deeper layer of Vijnanamaya Kosha, it takes an entirely different picture. In Vijnanamaya Kosha, I experience it as a reality because till there the light of intellect is taking me. The light of intellect is taking me. Beyond that, the light of intellect ends. Beyond Manomaya Kosha, the light of intellect ends. Now I go, enter into Vijnanamaya Kosha, first light of consciousness, Chaitanya. The Chaitanya, light of Chaitanya illumines that realm. In dream, when we enter, in waking state, the physical light is illumining this world. When I enter into dream, the mental light is illumining that world. Mind is creating. Mind has become all that. Similarly, what is that light? Light is light of mind, light of intellect. Similarly, here the light is what is illuminating the dream world is light of mind, light of intellect. In dream state, here what is when I enter into Vijnanamaya Kosha, when I enter into Vijnanamaya Kosha, the light of the intellect ends. Intellect remains, but it becomes the subject. The senses with intellect, buddhi and indriyas, pancha jnanendriyas remain together as the subject. In it is the ego dissolved. Ego of the bhakta is dissolved in it. And it has become subject and moving within. Entering into Vijnanamaya Kosha, what do we enter? Our body is still and stiff. It is not moving about. It is firmly sitting. My pranic existence, that is organ of movements, organ of action, Vak Panipada Upastapayu is also we have left behind, and here we are entering. What am I there? The intellect and senses alone, in which ego is dissolved. This is entering. So intellect, till here intellectual light is taking me, visualization. Everything is done by buddhi. Now buddhi's light becomes totally a subject. It becomes a subject and entering. Till here, the ego was utilizing intellect to visualize. Now, the intellectual light cannot be used because the subject will disappear. So, now, subject formation is there. I am intellect. Because mind is ending, there is no pros and cons, there are no memories, there is clear understanding, picture of Sri Ramakrishna or your Ishtadevata in the intellect. Nothing else is there. No other thoughts, no other world has disappeared. And your Ishtadevata picture is there, and that intellect, it's so clear. When the image, the visualization become clear and lively, realistic, you can see even if you feel, if you touch, it will be soft like this. It is lively. Then suddenly the intellect becomes subject. The intellect with senses, the intellect fails to go ahead, become subject. Where are you? Then the light of consciousness, Chaitanya, Chidakasha, we are entering into Chidakasha and seeing the Chaitanyik light. In Chaitanyik light, you will see it moving about, talking, welcoming, pouring love upon you. It's just waiting. So here we find the new light of consciousness, Chaitanya, Chit Prakasha. It is Chit Prakasha in which, and the object, your imagination was, the picture of Sri Ramakrishna was made. Till then, your mind was, it was mind. Mind created, mind had become, just like in dream, all things become, you are physically experiencing in dream. In dream you are experiencing, but it is not there because it is done by the material used in dream world is your mind. Here also it was mind till Manomaya Kosha. When it becomes lively, it is trying to cross the Manomaya Kosha and enter the Vijnanamaya Kosha. In Vijnanamaya Kosha, when it enters, it will become, it has touched this Chaitanya. When the body is touched by the Chaitanya, it becomes conscious and moving. It understands, it talks. I am able to talk because the Chaitanya is touching this. I am able to understand you. You are able to understand me. I am able to exchange my words. All this is possible because I am conscious. My consciousness is there. This touch of the consciousness goes, I enter into sleep. So here the imaginary picture which was made of mind, it was illumined by the intellect. Now it is no more. It is real, the Chaitanya. Now the material with which Sri Ramakrishna is made in the Vijnanamaya Kosha is Chaitanya. You are only the intellect and senses which belong to the nature with ego. It has entered into Vijnana in the realm of the consciousness. The first you are entered into Chidakasha, Chaitanya Akasha. There you will experience, clearly experience. You are fully aware. You see, you are Your, your consciousness is illumining your subject as a subject. Intellect with senses, it is illumining as a subject. The ego is pervading intellect and senses. And mind has dissolved, so no memories of the world. One thing the mind is holding was the picture of to enter into all it has given up. All the thoughts and memories of this world, of his bodily existence, it has given up intellect. Only Sri Ramakrishna's picture was there in the intellect. And it was so clear that nothing else can come. It is at that moment this becomes subject, intellect and this becomes subject, and the image made up of intellect, perceived by intellect, or made by the mind had become, and intellect was perceiving. The moment it becomes more and more clear, more and more real, it enters into Vijnanamaya Kosha. It becomes now the material with which the Ishtadevata is made, your is Chaitanya. It's consciousness. Chaitanya has become condensed and has become a form, taken a form. The infinite, the eternal, unchanging reality has condensed into a form to interact with you. It is consciousness. My consciousness, touch of the consciousness is making me understand this world, interact with this world, protect myself from all dangers, problems, run away if any danger comes. All this is it able to do. He is able to perceive the world because consciousness, with this very consciousness, has taken a form. How much conscious it could be. It understands everything. It understands me. It understands what I am asking for. It understands what am I demanding. The universal consciousness, all pervading consciousness, the absolute consciousness which is pervading the universe and becoming the Ishvara, pervading the individual body and becoming the Jivatman, is there in the form of the Ishtadevata now. It is condensed form. This is the Savikalpa Samadhi in which you see the form of your Ishtadevata. So here we see it is in you also there is your consciousness touching your own existence there. You are seeing actually Sri Ramakrishna in form. And when you are, now you, what are you? You are illumined by the consciousness. The consciousness is pervading the intellect, buddhi, and the senses. Because it is pervaded by consciousness, the intellect is able to understand. And senses are there, it can perceive. When I sleep, the consciousness is withdrawn. Here is consciousness is becoming more and more consciousness, pure consciousness. Because other aspects of nature are eliminated. Buddhi can get charged with consciousness. Senses can be, because buddhi comes from the sattva. Senses also come from sattva, individually, collectively, buddhi manas. So buddhi belongs to sattva, this belongs to sattva. Sattva can retain consciousness, can just like now, suppose wood cannot retain heat, it will burn off. Now each metal has its capacity to conduct the electricity, to retain the heat. Some melting point is there. Iron melts at a particular, copper melts at a particular, because that is the maximum temperature it can withstand. So we see higher and higher, some metals are there which need, now suppose lead Lead melts at very low temperature. When iron melts at very high temperature, till that it can retain heat. This cannot retain heat. Lead to that extent as iron. Like that, more sattva, more consciousness it can. More tamas, it can retain less and less chaitanya. So in sattva state, it is full, in maximum it can, buddhi and senses can retain, hold on. It can, the chaitanya, maximum it can take. Now you see retention of water. If you take plastic, zero. It cannot retain, it cannot absorb water. Wood can absorb little more water. Sponge can absorb maximum water. So the quantity of water it is holding on. How it increases, you see. From plastic to wood to cotton, how it expands the quantity. Like that, so tamas, it cannot hold, it is not conscious at all, as if small amount of consciousness it can retain. When it comes to rajas, it can take little more because movements are there. Consciousness. In sattva, maximum consciousness. So, intellect and senses belong to sattva. That's why they are able to enter into Vijnanamaya Kosha. It can retain maximum. Others, mind cannot enter into Vijnanamaya Kosha. This bodily existence can never enter into Vijnanamaya Kosha. Our own. The Vijnanamaya Kosha is more expanded than what we can think of. But the body cannot remain. Body can remain in this Mahakasha only. In Chidakasha it cannot exist. But God's form, because it is made up of consciousness, it is there and you are pervaded by consciousness and you have become the subject of viewing. Two things are pervading this intellect and senses. One is Chaitanya, is one individual Jiva. The Jiva is the individual existence, ego. It is there as ego. Ego is highly refined ego. It is so, why do we want to cultivate extreme humility in the world? Is because you cannot enter into, with even this little stiffness, you cannot enter into Vijnanamaya Kosha. You may fail in the world, but you will never fail in the spiritual world. If you want to see God, you have to cultivate humility. You may get a few blows, it doesn't matter, the body is not going to be there, you are also not going to be there. But you will be realizing or transcending the nature and go beyond. So for entering into inward, taking inward journey and going beyond, otherwise you are tossed in the world continuously, endlessly, you are to go undergo again and again. You are entering the life eternal. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.